Well, we're off to a good start because this one here has already stolen my seat. Say hi. Yep, they've both been dominating this area, trying to get in the way, trying to eat flour, because he'll eat anything, and also licking the butter dish over there, the green thing. But anyway, how are you all? You can stick here for a little bit, I guess. Although it's obscured. Sorry about that. A little bit. That way, there. You can see his fat little face. There we go. Hello! Another baking stream. It's been a little while. Wanted to take a bit of time between them, you know, make sure that they remain special, not do them too often. Make sure that I don't run out of ideas. Who we got here? Walkerage, hello, how is it going? I'm so excited for this. The summer Salari bake. I mean, I don't know if I call brownies summery, but you know, it is summer and we are making brownies, so yeah, sure. Annie, hello, hello, how are you doing? Hawaiian Juice Box, long time no see, how are you doing? And yeah, I will post the recipe once I'm all done here. It's a very, very good recipe. It's my favorite brownie recipe. Once again by John Cannell, who I have done a lot of his recipes on here at this point. By the way, how's the audio? I've been tinkering with it a little bit, just because I noticed in the past baking streams, this lavalier microphone wasn't very strong, I guess. And how is it versus the music audio level? Low Waist, aka Ari, how are you doing? Good morning to yous as well. You will believe what I discovered. A booktuber discovered Trump x Biden fan fiction. Spoiler alert, safe for work. Safe for work, what's the point then, says Birdie. I don't know, like with those two, I think safe for work is best for us all, really. How you doing, Birdie? Rowan, how's it going? Rowan made some very lovely looking cupcakes yesterday. How were they, by the way? Audio's good? Okay, good to know. But yeah, if I do need to lower the music level, just let me know. Brat brownie summer. You know, someone's gonna have to explain to me brat, because I heard it the other day. It made me feel very old not understanding it. So what is it? Is it like an acronym? Is it just, I don't know. I need explanations from someone who's more clued into all this stuff than I am, which is probably most of you. I ate 5 of the cupcakes yesterday and my tummy was grumpy. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot of buttercream. My aunt made some protein balls made with peanut butter, whey, and chocolate chips. Oof. I do like peanut butter balls. There is a nice chocolate covered peanut butter ball recipe that my wife's godparents gave me. Really, really nice. They have like Rice Krispies inside as well, so there's a nice little texture inside of them. But the problem is they are a huge pain to make because shaping peanut butter with your hands, and I have warm hands generally, it is so difficult. You have to like work really quickly. You have to freeze them, or you can also coat your hands in like powdered sugar or flour, and that can help maintain it. But it's not easy. And dipping it is terrible as well because it can completely fall apart once you do that. Really nice, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like not worth the effort. Like, I really like pastel de nata, which is this really wonderful Portuguese pastry, which is like a cup of flaky pastry with a custard in the middle of it. It's super, super nice, but the amount of effort that goes into it, especially if you make it from scratch, is so high. There is like, yeah. That's why I've tried to get good at making macarons, just because I really love macarons. It is a pain to make, but I've just been trying to practice over and over again just to, you know, hit that sweet spot where it's not too much of a hassle anymore. I think it's people reclaiming the word, but I refuse to engage with it, to be honest, because it's annoying. My kid just turned 11 yesterday, so my association to words is different. Yeah, I mean, oh wait, Brat is just a vibe. It's Charlie XCX album. It's just a new cool, like, hot girl summer. I guess that's kind of what I surmised from it. Because, yeah, I heard it the other day on Last Week Tonight, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm getting older and can't keep up with news. Like, yeah, me too. Like, there's a new word, like, every week. That was the oven. A chocolate-covered peanut butter balls, like Buckeyes. Yeah, pretty similar to it, yeah. Yeah, because I only saw Buckeyes recently, or I only learned about them recently, so kind of like that. Also, how you doing, Zoe? Nice to have you here. Hello, Luna. How's it going? Warm-blooded hands team, where you at? Yeah, I have dry and warm hands most of the time, which is good for playing guitar, because if you have dry hands, it makes sure that the strings last longer. But for other things, yeah. For baking, it's not always the most ideal thing to have. Or making sushi, apparently. In fact, like, yeah, in Japan, there aren't many women sushi chefs. And part of that is sexism, I won't lie. But another part of it is the belief that women have warm hands, so it's not suited to making sushi. Which frankly I think is bullshit, because practically every single woman in my life that I've met has always had cold hands. So I don't know where they get that from. Just an excuse. Yeah, the egg tart. Paste or pastel de nata. I'm not sure which one it is exactly. Mine's pretty cold, but they're warm, so I'm not sure. It can vary. Like, mine get cold when I'm nervous, I've noticed that. Or like if I'm playing a tense video game or something like that, then they get kind of cold. Like an adrenaline thing, I think. Yes, my wife gets very warm hands when they're inflamed. Excuse me. You defy bound slang, you'll always be iconic. I mean, you know, march to the beat of your own drum. I'm in writing and editing hell. Know that place all too well. This recent script that I've been working on, it's taken me just over 2 weeks to finish it. It's not that long, but I've been in so many different positions where it's like, I don't know, because part of it as well is like recently I started a new antidepressant, or I went back onto an antidepressant. I've been having some issues, you know, so I finally decided that I need to go back to the classic SSRI, so I started citalopram, which was the first antidepressant that I ever went on. And because I've had a lot of troubles with many other antidepressants, like a lot of them give me huge anxiety spikes, so I don't find them tolerable. I decided, you know what, just go back to square one, because, you know, I've dealt with depression enough that I can recognize the symptoms of it. Like, one of the big ones for me is that I find it hard to find joy in the things that I usually enjoy. And, you know, with something like that, it was a case where it's like, okay, well, it's hard to get out of depression when you can't enjoy things. So, you know, time for a bit of a chemical intervention, I guess. But part of like the workflow has been disruptive just because it has been like those anxiety spikes from citalopram. So yeah, going back and forth on that one has been difficult. And also, since I'm doing a video on fine dining and the bear and the menu, like the show and the movie, it has been one of those things where I just keep thinking to myself, like, no one's going to be interested in this. Like, young people don't watch television anymore. Young people don't watch movies. I saw the statistics in the last video. So yeah, lots of self-doubt, lots of chemical fuckery going on in the head. So yeah, really lovely. That's nonsense of person. That's a nonsense person. Women's hands are always much colder. Yeah, they are. Like I said, every single woman I've ever met has, at some point in her life, complained about being cold. And especially in the office, but that is a valid reason because many offices out there are acclimatized, like they set the temperature on the AC to meet the needs of men wearing suits. So it tends to be a bit colder, whereas women who generally come to the office wearing much lighter clothing tend to feel cold all the time because of the increased AC. I went back to antidepressants to also hello the dear prince. Due to certain life events, I don't feel it working yet though. Yeah, apparently mine can take anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. I'm not sure, you know, how long it will be or if I'm feeling any effects now. But you know, part of like, I mean, one thing that's like give me a little bit of like, you know, sort of alleviated thing is my mother being cleared of cancer. You know, as I spoke about on the last stream, she'd been dealing with it since the beginning of this year. It's been a very difficult time. It's been difficult for me to support her from overseas. In fact, today's bake is in honor of my mother, since Brownies, or in celebration of my mother, like honor implies that she died, I guess. But in celebration of my mother, of course, Brownies is one of her favorite foods, or one of her favorite treats. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, like with that whole situation, it was like, you know, I hoped it would be like more uplifting. But yeah, it's not really set in yet, you know? It's hard to explain. And it's same for my mother as well. Like I was speaking to her about how she feels now, and she still says like it doesn't feel real. And she's also got a odd amount of survivor's guilt as well that I've noticed, because she keeps saying that it doesn't feel fair because there's so many people on wait lists. So I had to explain to her like the NHS has wait lists for a reason, and the people who have to wait longer are generally the ones who are lower risk, and you know, it's less dire because the form of cancer my mother had was rare. Like my wife, who is a cancer researcher, looked around for any research on it, and you would not believe how few papers there were on this particular form of cancer. Because as I mentioned previously, it was cancer induced by HPV, which had been dormant in her system for a long time. So if you haven't been vaccinated for HPV, get it. It can cause its problems. So yeah, I had to explain like, you know, don't feel bad that you got treatment for it. And the NHS were incredible during this whole thing. Like they reacted so quickly to everything. Like my mother was diagnosed in January and cleared last week. Like for a rare cancer, that's remarkable. Secret ADHD skill, not feeling like you've finished a thing. That is one of them, yeah. I never feel like I'm finished with anything. We'll never stop being delighted about your mum being cleared. Yeah, it's wonderful. You know, I'd say the thing that has sort of like set in is thinking that whenever I talk to my mother now, I don't have to think of her as a person with cancer who is potentially on borrowed time. Because that's the thing that really is the dark cloud over these scenarios. You know, you look at this person and in the back of your mind, or even at the front of it, you can't help but thinking, this person has cancer. This person might not be around very long. What the hell do I do if things take a turn for the worst? It's all in limbo, really. And depending on certain types of cancers, it can be essentially a death sentence. Like if you have pancreatic cancer, for example, pancreatic cancer, there is like a 5% survival rate. It is awful. My uncle died of pancreatic cancer, and he was my first experience with familial death. And it really shaped like who I am and how I feel about death. meaning terrified. So now that both my parents have had cancer, I guess I better watch my ass at this point. Although I don't have HPV, so, you know, at least that one shouldn't be as much as a worry. But it does mean going to the doctor and occasionally having them feel my balls and eventually sticking the finger up my ass to check that prostate. My partner's aunt died yesterday. I think is the fourth family member he's lost in the past 5 years. Oof, that's awful. You can get a screening with your provider if you're worried about the pancreatic thing. There's blood tests for that one, I think. Yeah, it's always worth keeping an eye out for because you got to catch that shit real early. Same with lung cancer as well. Like my wife, she predominantly researches lung cancer patients, and part of the problem with the survival rate there is that it can fly under the radar so easily. Like it can manifest as just like a basic cough, and then next thing you know, cough medicine doesn't work and all that kind of stuff, and eventually they end up sending you to get scans, and I was like, oh, you have lung cancer, and it's progressed quite far. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere. Anyway, being a bit maudlin on this fun baking stream, so let's get to it. So the nice thing about this recipe is you do not require a stand mixer. You can just use a whisk or a spatula, and it can all be done basically in one bowl. So let's go over our ingredients and let me pull this up. Yeah, so our ingredients today need 2 sticks or 227 grams of unsalted butter, about 1 cup or 120 grams of all-purpose flour. We have some lovely semi-sweet chocolate chips here. I wanted to cut up some chocolate, but I couldn't get a decent one from the supermarket. But yeah, a lot of chocolate chips in there. And sugar. And this is going to use a lot of sugar. This has a disgusting amount of sugar in it, of 400 grams. A tablespoon of vanilla extract, which this one is Madagascan vanilla extract, very nice. 3 eggs, some salt, and I'm going to be using some Dutch process cocoa, which I believe I've gone over this before, but Dutch process is basically just being treated with alkaline, and it is really good for making more chocolatey, more fudgier kind of cakes, brownies, etc. It's not amazing for cakes depending on the kind that you're making, but for brownies this is perfect because it enhances the flavor so much. You do also have the option of adding like a tablespoon of coffee to it as well, because that really heightens the chocolatey taste for it. But you also don't taste the coffee inside of it, which is good if you're not a coffee fan like my wife is. And on top of that, we're going to be garnishing it with some salt flakes, which are just basically some very thick and coarse flakes of salt. But that's everything basically. Let's see. So we've got the oven preheated to 350. I have a pan prepared, an 8x8 baking pan, a metal one. Metal is very good for baking brownies. If you use glass, it doesn't conduct heat as well, so you can end up having to cook it for about 5-10 minutes more, and also it can affect the texture of it. It can end up becoming more cakey instead of fudgy, and we're going for fudgy today. Yep, butter and sugar, as Rowan says, that's where the magic happens. And yeah, all this stuff can be made in a single bowl. Really simple and straightforward, and one of the best recipes out there. Have you seen the Tasty 101 videos for brownies? I have not, no. Funnily enough, I'm using chocolate chips for my homemade chocolate. The brand I use for baking chocolate is literally called Baker's. Been using it for 30+ years for brownies. Yeah, I've used Baker's before, it's pretty damn nice. I really like Ghirardelli for chocolate, and Guittard, which is a Californian produced chocolate, very natural, very few ingredients. I made some chocolate chip cookies with it recently. They were incredible. This cocoa right here is Ghirardelli. The chocolate chips are Trader Joe's. Once again, not sponsored by them. I know I bring them up a lot, but it's my local supermarket. But yeah, Ghirardelli, even though they do use high fructose corn syrup, are still very good. But Guittard, Guittard, are my favorite by far. But one thing I would love to do is next time I go to the UK, I would love to pick up some baking chocolate from there. As a Bay local, I feel some kind of way about Ghirardelli's. I'm just tired of it. Also, like, Ghirardelli is really nice. It's one of my favorites, at least as American chocolate goes. A friend of mine is an amazing baker, and their advice is never skip or substitute the sugar and butter. Use the full amount. Yes, absolutely. It is necessary. What do you want, Camu? Do not jump up here. I swear to God. No. 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 You stay. You see the wine? Yeah. The reaching for it. Okay. So yeah, we got the oven preheated. I got a pan. It's almost ready. All right, so I'm gonna do this in a large bowl. We're gonna melt the butter, although I'm gonna put it inside here. Melt the butter. You have to do it in 20-second bursts. This one is already softened. No. This one is already softened to room temperature. You can microwave it from the refrigerator, but I generally wouldn't recommend it because it can take longer. If you haven't got softened butter and you need to melt it down in the microwave, then the best thing to do is to dice up the butter, because if it's diced up, it means that it is able to absorb more heat rather than one big mass of butter. But this should suffice. So I'll put this in at 20 seconds at half power. And we want to get it melted, but not too hot. Oh my God. Melted, but not too hot. Jesus Christ. And, sorry, it threw me off. Melted, not too hot, and not browned as well. You can also do this in a saucepan as well. You can't be around here. This is unhygienic. I don't need OSHA on my ass. Okay. Give it a little jiggle. Can you hear that? That sounds wrong. Maturity. Okay, half power, 20 seconds again. Or any fat, like milk, cream, whatever. Do not microwave it for too long on a high power, because fats heat up really quickly and it will just pop in your microwave, leaving a mess. So with this one, we're just gonna gradually put it down, and I need to stir this a little bit using a nice metal chopstick. Hang on. Let me double check, see if the overhead cam is working. Okay, back off. This, like, Camu really likes butter. We do not give him butter because he's got a dud heart, but yeah, it's his weakness. Don't get in the bowl. I do not want your fur everywhere. This cat, I swear. Metallic chopsticks, yeah, which I may or may not I've stolen from a Korean restaurant. I admit nothing. I admit nothing, officer. Okay. I'm gonna blast this for about 5 more seconds at full power, but I'm gonna watch it. Okay. A little bit more time. It's still kind of opaque, which means that it's not quite melted. You don't do anything. Careful. Okay. This is good. So yeah, we don't want it to be too hot as well, because this is going to be incorporated with some eggs, and if you introduce hot butter with eggs, don't lick the bowl! Oh my god. There's literally nothing on it, you savage. Look, Camus, I appreciate the engagement, but you know, we have to put limits on this stuff. Oh, you heard the flashy ASMR? Yeah, wonderful stuff. I'm not a fan of ASMR myself. I don't know why. It might be an ADHD thing, but I don't know, I'm weird with some sounds. Yes, we have a feline problem here. Like I said, thanks for the engagement, Camus, but no thanks for the potential salmonella. Okay. Let me get this drink out of the way. Alright, so got that melted. Put that aside for a second. And inside this bowl, I'm going to add some of the cocoa and the sugar. So cocoa, we need 75 grams. And like I said, this is Dutch processed cocoa, which is, even though it sounds fancy, it is very easy to find at your typical supermarkets. And if you ever want to make brownies, even if the recipe asks for regular cocoa, you can still use Dutch process, and in my opinion, get a much better result. Even with this recipe, the recipe ingredients just says regular cocoa, but this will be even better. Trying to gauge it. Don't want to go overboard with cocoa. 1 gram over, that should be fine. Okay. And then we're going to do the sugar, which, as I said, is 400 grams. Camus, what's going on? And for those of you who don't like counting, it is 2 cups of sugar. Stay away from fucking butter. Stay away from the... I'm losing my mind. This cannot continue. Camus really likes butter. Yes, he does. A worrying amount. And he has, what was it, congestive heart failure, something like that? No, it's not that. I don't know. Either way, he has a condition which makes it so that he should not eat butter. Cardiomyopathy, yes. He has a fat heart. Don't rub your face on my camera tripod either. Oh my god. Okay, so lost track of the recipe now. Lost track of my life. Okay, 400 grams of sugar. Lots of sugar, a disturbing amount. I've actually been going through quite a lot of sugar recently because we have a hummingbird feeder outside and they have been going through that stuff like they're being paid to. And we make our own hummingbird food because frankly it is a rip-off to buy from the store. There's just 1 cup of sugar and 3 cups of water. You boil it down into a sugar water and you're done. But this past week, I think I've gone through 4 cups of sugar just making food for the hummingbirds. They really appreciate it. They might be addicted, but you know, a lot of sugar. Okay, so I think he's settled down now, thank God. Okay, just going to give the sugar and cocoa mix a quick stir, which to the overhead. Get them nice and incorporated. And you don't have to worry about sifting the cocoa as well. Like it all gets broken down, like all those little chunks, they're not really a problem. And you know, to repeat a joke that I made last time, cocoa is hydrophobic. 2021, you can't be that way anymore. But once you mix it in with the sugar and everything, it breaks down much easier because sugar has fats in it, which makes it bond better with cocoa. Okay, that should be good. Now we are going to put the butter inside of it, or as my people say, butter. I'm using a different tripod for my overhead today. It might not be tall enough. And it also doesn't help that a cat just got in the way, but okay. Alright, so we are going to mix this for about 30 seconds vigorously. If you don't want to put in elbow grease, then you are more than welcome just to use like an electric whisk or a stand mixer. Either way is perfectly fine. But once I get all that loose liquid incorporated a bit, then I'll start going at it harder, faster, stronger. Look at this black tar, like a smoker's lung. And yeah, you will probably notice from the texture that this is, well, you can really notice all of the sugar from the texture of this. A diabetic nightmare. I have an electric hand mixer for these jobs. Can't be honest, due to tennis elbow. Yeah, I try to watch out with this kind of thing just because I have carpal tunnel syndrome. So I do what I can to avoid aggravating that. Like even in like these, you know, when you get like a video game and they have like the button mashing thing where you just have to really go at it. I have my techniques for those, which is to basically like position it that way, and you can like force your arm to spasm so it goes super fast like that, but it's still a lot of strain. There's also something called the spoon method, in which basically you can grab a spoon and run it over the button like that, back and forth. Not ideal, but whenever they, like if you make a video game, just include an option which makes it so you don't have to mash the button. Like, there's no excuse in this day and age. The average age of gamers is rising every single year. Those gamers are getting old and they've been gaming for years and their hands are gonna get a bit fucked. So just let people do the hold thing. It's cheating. It goes against the design of the creator. Shut up. I actually remember in Dave the Diver, like when it was first released, they made it so that for certain things you would have to do button mashing, and it was not easy button mashing either. Like, you really had to go for it. So people rightfully went onto the forums and started saying, hey, could you add a feature in this where we can just make it so I can hold a button rather than mash. The developers didn't respond for a while, but that was met with a chorus of the types who would come in and say like, no, they shouldn't. It's part of the developer's design. So this is something that is meant to be. And if you can't do this, then that means that the game isn't for you, which is bullshit, because that's essentially saying that this game potentially isn't made for people with disabilities as well. I'm saying they can go fuck themselves. But eventually the developers did respond and they said, absolutely. And then they included it. So much for it being designed. Those chuds. Game would be chill for 10 seconds, difficulty impossible. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so next step, we are going to be adding some eggs and some vanillas. I think, yes. I nearly dropped that. I only have one spare egg in the fridge, so I need to be careful not to fuck these up in some way. Let me just get a piece of paper towel to make this a bit cleaner. So what have you all been up to recently? Anything fun? One. It's three. Yeah, three. Two. Three. I broke the yolk with the last one. It was going so well. It doesn't matter. I just, like to be able to be better at cracking eggs. No big deal. Alright, and then we're gonna put some vanilla extract in there, which is 1 tablespoon. A lot of vanilla in this one. So, let me do the overhead. Oh yeah, I also got a nice new set of measuring spoons. These are like magnetic. You separate them, all different sizes and everything. And it comes like a little leveler if you need to scoop it. And a little side which is narrower there. So if you have any things that you need to get into, like, a very narrow lid on something, it's super useful. Once again, I'm not sponsored by this, I just think they're cool. Okay, so tablespoon of vanilla extract. Also, I'm going to be making my own vanilla extract soon. I got some vanilla bean pods. All I need is some vodka. Then put that in a bottle, let it sit for at least 6 months, and then boom, vanilla extract. I do not drink, so I do not have vodka on hand. And also my wife doesn't like vodka as well, so it's just for that one purpose, sadly. I'm hoping that they just sell like cheap bottles of vodka at the liquor store. Wash this out a little bit. I wish I could control the scene changes on OBS with my mind. That'll be so convenient. Yeah, vodka tastes like poison to me. Most alcohols taste like poison to me. Watching a baking stream while I draw lewd comics on my other screen. A usual Wednesday. How you do. I'm listening to you bake as I'm working on replanting my lavender on the balcony. It grew so nice despite me not knowing shit about plants. That's good. My mother actually used to really like gardening, and she was a sucker for lavender because she said that it calms her down, and apparently there is some evidence to say that lavender is a very calming aroma. So yeah. Oh, need some salt as well. 1 teaspoon of salt. Yeah, so like for example, this salt container, oops, it doesn't fit. It does actually. So you just flip it around to the narrow one. Ooh, what do you know? This is kosher salt, which is larger in grain to typical kind of salt. So it makes it a bit more pronounced, but it's nicer that way. At least I think so. Okay. And we are gonna mix this up again. This does not look nice. Switch the overhead. But let me try moving the camera up a little bit more. It might appear in the main shot. Let's see. Entered. Okay. Yummy. All that raw egg swirling around. Yeah, so how's everyone's summer been going? How would you rate? Have you been having a brat summer, as the U's and Charlie XCX might say? So I will lie, most of my summer has been spent indoors because fuck the sun. Yeah, I remember when I was a youngin', I really did not like the summer in the UK because we didn't have AC like most houses in the UK. So it would get absurdly hot, even though a lot of people like to think that the UK never gets hot. It does. In fact, last year it broke a record where it reached 40 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for you Fahrenheit lovers, but be rest assured it's a lot. But yeah, like just dealing with that stuff without AC, miserable. And you know, I know some of you live in countries where AC isn't the standard thing, but it wasn't great. And we also had very late, it was very late where the sun would set in the UK. Like sometimes you get sunset at like 10:30, 11. And when you're a kid and you see sun outside, you're like, this is bullshit. I should be playing outside right now. It's brat monsoon. Yeah, a lot of people love lavender. I gotta admit, like, I've never been really keen on lavender as a flavor or a scent, to be honest. But I think part of that might be childhood related, because I remember when I was playing in the garden when I was younger, I actually fell into a lavender bush and hurt myself. So maybe a bit of an association was created there. Who knows? I'm really concerned about the park fire. It's so large now, it's burned almost 400,000 acres. Jesus Christ. And because it's nearish by, I had to close all the windows due to the asthma. There's ash blowing that way. Good Lord. I hope it turns out alright. That's intense, 400,000 acres. Are you in West Coast? I think I remember you saying that you were. There's a store in my town that sells nothing but lavender essential oils. That sounds like it could be hell to walk through for me. Alright, so we're on the last step, actually. This one's, like I said, it's a very straightforward recipe. Brownies are a classic for a reason, because they're very easy to make. I'm going to taste test this, though. I have to. Beautiful. Camus is playing with his toy right now, if you can hear some rattling in the background. So yeah, we're going to add this flour, which I've already pre-measured. And we have these chocolate chips, which will be going inside the brownies. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a handful of these, and those will be spread across the top of the brownies. Just, you know, make it look a little nice. Make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so we won't need a whisk for this. Let me try and clean it off the best I can. I always worry about like moving something like this over to the sink and just get like a big chocolatey plop on the ground. That wasn't the best phrasing of that. Great out of context bit again. One second. Okay, so we're going to be putting in the flour. It's not being sifted, so once again it's not a big deal, and then we're also going to be adding the chocolate to it as well. So put in the flour first. And the trick to this is that you do not want to mix the flour in too much, because if you do, you can end up with very flat brownies, which, you know, they'll still taste nice, but they won't be as dense as you would hope for. So I'm going to put these in as well. And the reason I'm putting both in at the same time is because obviously I'm going to mix them together, but I don't want to be in a situation where, say for example, if I put the flour in first and I've mixed it all up, if I added the chocolate chips there afterwards, it would mean I'm doing additional mixing, which I don't want to do. So, here we go. I'm trying doing a bit of folding as well. That's useful if you don't want to go overboard with the mixing. And I know a lot of people get confused over what folding is, and I'm pretty sure I've gone over this before. But folding is basically what it says it is. You stick your spatula underneath your ingredients and just fold it over like that. You can do fancier stuff as well, like you can cut down the middle, fold it that way, cut it down, just sort of doing a figure eight kind of thing. But yeah, it's real straightforward. And what we're aiming for here is to basically just keep mixing it up just until the flour disappears. If you go a little bit more after that, it's not the end of the world. But once that flour is gone, you stop. And believe me, it disappears quicker than you would imagine. Because, you know, even if you do see any flour streaks inside of the brownie mix, it's not a big deal. Like, it'll break down once it's cooking. Okay, so we're nearly done. Just a few more streaks to get out of the way. Because yeah, this is very liquidy, so all of this flour gets picked up very quickly. All right, I see a few more streaks, but I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overdo it. One more, there we go. Okay, now the batter is complete. And that means I have to taste this raw batter. So, excuse me. Oh my god. I could just eat this whole bowl raw. In fact, I think I will. See you later. Yeah. I found my self-esteem, so I decided not to. What's funny is that the overhead camera is making that look very red. See? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a webcam. I wouldn't mind doing or getting my phone set up with it, but that would mean that I can't do the active phone camera. Have you done any other cooking streams? Yes, I have. I've done quite a few of them. I've done a handful on YouTube, and I've done a handful on Twitch as well. So if you look on my channel and go to the stream VODs, you can see which ones I've done there, and I label them separately. Brownies, yes. Brownies, the classic. Okay, so the oven is preheated. Now I prepped this baking tray in advance. So you're right here, and as you can see, it's very neatly aligned. Simple way of doing it is that you just get a piece of parchment paper, flatter the better. You cut 2 lines on both ends, and then you fold it all inwards and everything, and you just like tuck it in behind that, so you get a real nice shape with it. But to make it easier to remove this batter, I am going to be using some Baker's Joy baking spray, which I have never used before, so I hope it works. But yeah, it is oil and flour in one spray, which can be very handy. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but we'll see. Well, this looks wrong, doesn't it? Okay. Anything I can do a test spray with? Try from a distance. Ah. Okay. Oh, that smells like aerosol. This seems intense. Well, yeah, that's a strong aerosol aroma to it. That seems like too much. Look at this. I'll give it a moment, because that's like flour on there, but it's quite stacked. Let me just get some paper towel and wipe a little bit off it. Okay. Okay, not too bad now. Yeah. Ooh, lovely. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna pour this batter into it, and we should be good. Also, sorry if I'm not keeping up with the chat very well. I'm just trying to get this sorted out. I've never seen cooking spray leave white residue. Maybe it's the flour. Yeah, it is the flour that's inside of it. Because usually the other way that you can do things, you can like coat it in oil or butter, and then just sprinkle some flour on the top of it. So this is sort of a 2-in-1 solution. I'm just curious how well it works by comparison. But you know, if you don't have this stuff, if you don't have like, you know, anything fancy, it's perfectly fine just to cover it in like olive oil, any kind of cooking oil really. You know, the parchment paper makes it super easy to remove it from there, as you will see later on. I just found a factory knot in my yarn. Yes, it means a knot made in the yarn factory. Oh God. Is there any way around that, or is it just painful? Or a pain to deal with, I guess. Never seen cooking spray leave white residue. Oh, sorry, I reread that. It's extra seasoning. Extra seasoning for white people. Flour. Okay, time to move the brownie batter. Why is it sticky underneath? The brownie batter into the pan. We'll stick with overhead. Okay, this is quite a heavy bowl, so I'm going to be careful here. And you just want to make sure that it is distributed pretty evenly across the pan. See, there's a bit of flour there, but it's not a big deal. It will all be sorted in the oven. God, this is beautiful. Velvety, chocolatey goodness. try and get some. Alright, well, some chocolate just flicked over to my left side and I have no idea where it went. So that should be fun finding out later. I'm gonna scrape this bowl just to loosen up any batter. Don't want to waste anything. Lop. 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 There we go. Also, for those of you out there that are inclined to use like brownie box mixers and stuff, perfectly fine. I'm not judging people for using box mixers, but making your own from scratch, super easy, better than any box mix out there. Okay, I'm just going to spread this around a little bit. And I see one of Camus' hairs there, which is great. We'll remove that. I'm just going to distribute this around. Make sure you get into those corners. My wife is over in the corner over here. She's at her workstation and she's doing some shitty e-learnings for a job. I do not miss doing e-learnings, that's for sure. And it will never not be weird to me how I'm now in a country where one of the e-learnings that people do is how to deal with the mass shooter. Okay, that's normal. Locked up, that's what it is. Back to crocheting my pencil pouch. Ah, speaking of crochet, I have something to show you all. Because my mother, during her recovery period from cancer treatments, she got into the world of crochet. Let me show you something real quick. Yeah, this thing right here, full cam. This blanket right here. My mother made this for my wife. It was a nice little surprise that we orchestrated because my mother's been crocheting a bunch of stuff. She has arthritis in her hand, so she can't knit anymore. So she switched to crocheting. But yeah, this lovely blanket here was something that was sent to my wife by surprise. I had my mother on a video call just to see her reaction and everything. But yeah, it's a really lovely, cozy blanket. Or, you know, you can make it as a throw or what have you. And one thing that's really nice about it that I like is that it smells like my home. A little corny, but it's nice. Yeah, very nice blanket. To lower down the shipping cost and the size of the box. And this is a very useful thing you can do if you're looking to, you know, not pay as much. She put it in like one of those vacuum packs, kind of like what you can use when you travel overseas. Really shrinks it down. So yeah, when my wife was opening up that pack, I was like, be careful with the box. Like, don't cut too deep into the box because otherwise it could just go. Okay, so this is the mixture. It's all in place. Now we're going to take these leftover chips here and just toss them around. You don't have to be neat or organized, just let chaos reign. You two are a bit too close to each other, we can't have that. And if you want to, you can also push them in a little bit if you want to have them give them that embedded look to them too. But it's no big deal. This is all about personal preference and expression. So you do you brat. Am I using that right? Oh shit. Some more in there. Might have a bit too much actually. And I know that some of you will say there is no such thing as too much chocolate. And you would be right. Although on this occasion it might actually be too much chocolate because it will end up just looking too crowded. Where did Camus go? Yuri's over there in a bed. Camus, I think, is in his little cat house. Last of the chips. A bit too crowded, so that works. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So now it's going to go into the oven at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes. And like I said, if you're using a glass one, that'll take a bit longer. 35 around there if you want it to be fudgier, 40 to 45 if you want it to be a bit cakier. So here we go. Let's see if we can get the camera footage, the phone camera footage going. Alright, so here is our brownie mix. Poke this in a bit. Yeah. Yeah, nice silky brownie mix. Should turn out well, this one. Okay, let's get the oven open, which I've still not cleaned, so it's kind of disgusting. And in we go. Wait, the shelf on the oven needs to be adjusted. So you can look at the cat's bowl while I get this sorted out. Okay. Don't look at my feet, you have to pay for that. Okay, so here we go. In you go. Bye-bye. Good luck. All right. And once again, as I always say, sorry to all of you out there that have Google Assistants. But, hey Google, set a timer for 35 minutes. Okie doke. No, I don't want a timer set on my phone too. Did that set a timer on my phone? 1 sec. No. Okay, good. Yes, I have a Pixel. I got a new one recently because I got a very good price on it. Along with, they gave me like a cashback thing from the Google store where they gave me like $100 credit. So I got some of those Pixel buds too, and they're very nice. But yeah, it's a very nice phone. I really like it. This was in the sage green color. I much prefer Android just because of how much more customizable they are. And these Pixels come with an amazing camera. Is Brat's new slang for something? First time I heard it. You know, as I was saying at the start of the stream, I had never heard it until recently. And of all people, I heard it from was John Oliver, who like is in his early 50s, I think. That makes me feel old. It's a very nice cat ball, that one, because it's got a rubberized bottom on it, so it doesn't slip around. Plus it's angled, so it's better for the cats when they're eating, you know, better for the neck. I'm gonna eat more of this batter, because I'm a filthy animal. That's so good. You want some batter? No? Missing out. This is my dinner. I'm getting a Hisense phone that a shop managed to shove Google Play on despite it being China only. Oh, I didn't know Hisense made phones, to be honest with you. Salari, no, eat real food. Don't tell me what to do. I just realized I found out where that chocolate splattered. It's on my Stream Deck. That's good. I will risk the salmonella for this. Okay. Ooh, there's more. There goes my dignity. I'll tell your wife to tell you what to do. Try to stop me. I'm ungovernable, as people say. Girl dinner moment. I have had my girl dinners in my lifetime. Most of them in my much earlier 20s, late teens. Most of my dinners were like bowls of cereal and occasionally takeout food. It was a dark time in my life, but you know, hey, at least it freed up some time. I just told myself like, oh, you know, cereal has a lot of nutrients that you need. It's fast. I like it, but yeah, not the best of things to have. Excuse me. I feel like I'm about to get hiccups. Mostly my rebellion was not doing my homework and refusing to cook. Yeah, it's like cooking at that age sucks. I mean, cooking at every age sucks really, but you know, when you're in your early 20s, you're just like, yeah. And I think part of that is just because you spend like so many years with like one of your parents cooking for you, and then suddenly they pass the buck to you, and it's like, you gotta do it now. It's like, oh, but this sucks. And then you appreciate your parents cooking for you, because you're just like, oh, they were actually being really nice by making me something. Had to mind my brother as well. I just didn't want to do anything. I don't blame you, that's a lot of responsibility. Okay, I'm done now. But yeah, we got 35 minutes to kill. Hopefully. It might take a little bit longer than that. So I think I'm going to take my little break now for about 5 minutes. Does anyone have a question of the day that they think might be good? And I'll post it, I'll pin it for the channel. Because I did not come up with one today. I tried to be super organized today by setting up all the ingredients, measuring some stuff out, making it so that I'm not like doing a mad dash rush in the hour following the stream, because that's what I usually end up doing, and it's not a good idea. But then I ended up forgetting the question of the day. My dad's actually a really excellent cook, and my parents had already separated. It was a bit frustrating as mine never tasted as good. Yeah, I can imagine that, you know, after having all those resources taken away. I'm doing a Q&A for my comic, but that won't work as a question of the day. Yeah. What's the one thing you're looking forward to? What's the one thing you're looking forward to before the end of the summer? Okay. Choose beach, city, woods, or vacay. Which one do I like better? You know what? I'm sorry, Ari, but I think I'm gonna have to go with fairy slashes there. Alright, so answer the question, which one do you prefer? Beach, city, woods, or vacation? For a vacation, and your reasons why as well. Let me just copy that shit. 1 second. Don't answer too soon, that's illegal. Oh my god, I accidentally opened everything. Okay, I'll pin that. And I will edit it on the OBS too. But yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, about 5 minutes-ish. In the meantime, answer the question of the day. Choose one, beach, city, or woods vacation, and why as well. I will be right back. Stick around and get a drink or whatever. See you soon. Okay, I am back. I have a guitar here because I want to change the strings. So don't mind me, I'll still be able to read the chat quite well. So, beach, woods, or city? What is your ideal vacation spot? Also, we have about 20 minutes left on the brownies, and they're looking good. Let's see, Pokerage says, well, my wife first of all says beach, vastness of the ocean. Yes, my wife does very much love the beach. She actually likes watching a nearby beach or somewhat nearby beach on the webcam just to see what's happening. Pokerage says beach mostly because I'm not complaining like a white person, and also the air is relaxing, not a big deal when it comes to packing as well. Ari, not me getting a freaking Final Fantasy XIV ad for Dawn Trail like that isn't already installed on this computer. How do you like it? I've been playing it recently. I'm still working through the MSQ, but I've been really liking it. I saw a lot of complaints from people, but even though the storytelling has some flaws to it, I do really like the story. This one is actually hard for me, says Fairy Slash, because I love being in the water, but being in the woods feels very special to me. Beach though, swimming is so dang fun. Yeah, see, that's the thing, like, I used to like swimming when I was a kid, or at least like being at the pool when I was a kid. But as I got older, as I entered puberty, my Iranian genes kicked in, and well, more precisely, my Iranian mountain genes kicked in, and I started getting an obscenely hairy body. So I got like hair on my chest, on my back, on my shoulders, and when you're a young man in the West, that can bring on a lot of insecurities. So at that point, I was like, I can't show myself topless in public anymore. And I don't want to be one of those guys that wears like a wet t-shirt into the pool. So yeah, I've never really gone back to it. Maybe one day have like a private pool or something like that, then I'd go back into swimming in pools, but that day, let's be honest, is never gonna come. Unless anyone wants to help with, you know, a tip or a channel membership, that always helps out. Maybe I should just set that as a stretch goal one day. Just help me buy a pool. But yes, if any of you are interested, a channel membership to support the channel, or even just a one-time tip, does help a great deal. And it also helps go towards future baking streams, because, you know, gotta pay for baking supplies and whatnot. Come on, this is stuck. Ah. Get out. Good lord. I forgot how stiff this yarn gets. Oof. Yeah, I've only tried knitting once when I was probably like 12, something like that, and I knitted a scarf and it was completely wrong, but you know, it was my first time. God damn, this is really stuck. Excuse me. There we go. Gonna go walk the dog. Lovely. Hope your dog will thoroughly enjoy that. I'm doing the infection prevention module now. Everyone will wear a mask, etc. Indeed. Be careful out there. I'm on day 3 of accidental allergen ingestion induced sleepy aftermath. It's pretty annoying. Ugh. They're constantly woozy or something. I'm lucky I've not been having many issues with allergies this summer. I generally don't have many like allergic reactions to anything or bad hay fever, usually for a little bit during the year. But I do have this weird problem, which I don't think is allergy related, where my sinuses start to close up, usually in the evening, like around 7 o'clock or something. It probably needs surgery for it, to be honest. I've only been awake a couple of hours. There's no reason I should be sleepy. Ugh. I've just reorganized our shelves where we store masks. Ooh, you have a mask shelf. Fancy. Oscillating between one video essay, one commentary video, and one narration of a scary story. That sounds like one hell of a brain-teasing combination. How long's left? Hey Google, time remaining? 11 minutes, 35 seconds. I'm trying not to open the door as well, so you don't get any cool air coming in. I've just started final in the last 2 months, and I'm having a great deal of fun. I mostly zip through the cutscenes because I don't actually care. How dare you! Final Fantasy XIV, for me, the big selling point is the story, because up until Final Fantasy XIV, I never played an MMO where I actually cared about the story, but so much of it is so well written. The A Realm Reborn stuff, the first stuff you go through, did not care for that. It was very hard to follow, to the point where I had to look up a YouTube video for it to be explained to me after the fact. But everything after that has been pretty damn golden, especially Shadowbringers. Oh. I'll focus on the story and my characters are leveled fully and can enjoy the plot without hindrance. That's fine then, I guess, so long as you enjoy it. Full body swimmers are a thing now. Yeah, no, it's just all for Steam stuff, you know. I've stopped wearing shorts outside. Yeah, I don't wear shorts either for similar kind of reasons. I don't have super hairy legs, but yeah. I also don't like showing off like my upper arms as well, so that's why you never see me just in a t-shirt on stream. It's a weird insecurity thing. What am I doing? Oh yeah. I'm gonna treat this with some oil. Lemon oil. Okay. I know this is probably not fascinating viewing for those of you who don't play guitar, and even those of you who do play guitar, but I've been behind on doing this, so I'm just using the opportunity to catch up. So lemon oil is good because it moisturizes the fretboard. Although you don't use too much for this type. This is an ebony fretboard, and yeah, if you go overboard with that, you can end up making it too dry, ironically. Ugh, that is filthy. Look at that. Yeah. Overdue. Dude, with YouTube, it hasn't been showing me your videos recently. So I've heard from numerous people. I have had people say that like they've watched every single one of my videos, they revisit my videos, they even have notifications activated, and still, whenever I release something new, it just doesn't put it in front of people, which sucks, you know, because you're very, very reliant on that exposure just to be simply on people's recommended page. And yeah, it's bullshit. If I was a more conspiracy-minded person at this point in my career, I would be thinking that YouTube is actively going out of its way to kill my channel. Who knows? But it is frustrating, I won't lie. But if you do want a guaranteed notification, feel free to join my Discord, and I announce every new video there. I know it's not the most efficient way of getting a notification, but it's a safer way. But yes, I share your frustrations there. But thank you for being here as well. I've been crocheting for years, and I started knitting this year, and oh my god, it's hard. Yeah, it was, from what I remember. And you know, like I said, since my mother has arthritis in her fingers, especially in the thumb pretty badly, she switched to crocheting, and she much prefers it actually. But she's been going nuts with it. She actually, during her cancer treatment, she started crocheting beanies for cancer research charity stuff, which she would sell at a local market. And she did quite well off the back of this. Gave 100% of the proceeds to the charity as well. I told her to sell them on Etsy, but she wasn't particularly interested in the idea. Not to say that there's a guarantee that they would have sold on Etsy, but you know, you would have been broadening your audience outside of selling it at the nearby Tesco's. But you know, she had a lot on her plate. Can't blame her for wanting to pare down her operation. I'm stuck in a Realm Reborn hell right now. I'm quite fed up of it. Power through it, you know? I know it's easy to say that because it's pretty damn long, but power through it. Because Heavensward is really damn good. It really picks up at the end of a Realm Reborn. I love your baking streams, they're so cozy. Well, thank you very much. FFXIV, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. I know this isn't exactly the kind of baking that people were expecting. What time we got left? Hey Google, time remaining?
5 minutes, 8 seconds.
5 minutes. Can I string a guitar in 5 minutes? Probably not, but let's get started. Nearly bashed myself in the nuts with the corner of a drawer there. That's good. Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm appreciative of all of you who show up for my streams. Genuinely, I am. I'm appreciative of all of you who share, who become members, who donate, whatever it might be, because all that support does make a big difference, especially when YouTube isn't putting your channel on people's front pages. And even when they do, the revenue is just shite. The weird looking baking pan also high. Yeah. This baking pan, you know, I'll cook up some hot guitar licks. That sounded so dumb. But nice to have you here, Walter Nixie. How are you doing? I'm sure that's an unpleasant noise to some of you. I like coming here and seeing what you create, Salari. Yeah, I enjoy sharing creations, and I enjoy looking at other people's creations as well. It genuinely warms my heart to see It genuinely warms my heart to see people getting involved in baking, because it is such a lovely, calming hobby once you get into it. Because, you know, I know a lot of people don't think of it that way. You know, they see it as stressful. They see it as, you know, just another way to fail at something. I guess that's a nice way of putting it. But, you know, once you develop that skill a bit more, it is a wonderful thing to be able to do, just because you are creating. You are making something for yourself and other people. You are growing. Yeah. And then eventually you just notice that you get better and better. It's kind of like a musical instrument, you know? The more you put into it, the better you get and the better you feel about your progress. In fact, the other day, I posted a picture of my macaron somewhere, and someone replied to it who actually runs a bakery, and they complimented like how good they looked and said that they'd be willing to give me a job there as the macaron maker, which I'm not sure whether I'd want to do something like that. But, you know, knowing that I've progressed far enough with my baking to receive that level of compliment is very nice. We appreciate you streaming. I appreciate... Did I read that? Guitar learning and baking stream. Hey, I'm a man of many disciplines, and ironically I lack discipline as well. Failing is the first step of getting good at something. Absolutely, yes. Hearts. Gasp, are you a Time Lord? Doctor Who has 2 hearts? I do not know anything about Doctor Who. Other than the fact he has a sonic screwdriver and they made it woke. I'm kidding. God, people getting upset about this stuff. Jesus Christ. The Doctor can be literally anything that they want. I know that. Yeah, I didn't know that Doctor Who has 2 hearts. I should hear the alarm any second. Oh, and also, just so you know, when the brownies are done, when, you know, well, when I take them out of the oven, they will need to sit for a bit, so I won't be able to cut into them right away and take a bite, because I will melt my tongue if I do. They may also need a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to prick them with a skewer just to see how well cooked they are. Popping in to say I appreciate the stream as well. Well, thank you, Syndrome, and I appreciate your support too, and you being here. I listen, but I can't write much dealing with things. Understandable. That's fine. Oh, there's the alarm. Stop! Okay. Move this over here for a bit. Careful. Okay, I'm just gonna check. Oof. This looks fudgy. I'm just gonna prick this with a skewer and check whether or how liquidy it is inside. You're supposed to prick it with a skewer, and if it is still very liquidy, then you need to leave it in a bit longer. Let's see. Looking good. Okay, yeah, needs a bit longer, so we'll do 5 more minutes. Yeah, yeah, this is what came out of it, so a bit more time is necessary. Hey Google, set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay. And well, I even baked some of the fudgy brownies today. The very first time it turned out the way I wanted. Excellent. I mean, if you want to share, I don't know if you've shared them in the Discord already, but you are welcome to do so. Always love seeing your works. Try and finish this off in the meantime now. What kind of Brit are you? I don't know, give me some categories so I can answer that question. Or are you talking about what kind of Brit am I because I don't watch Doctor Who? Yeah, I don't watch Doctor Who. I don't watch football or soccer, if you're so inclined. I don't drink, which, you know, drinking culture in the UK is a big deal. I read half of a Harry Potter book, the first one, and I did not like it. And to be honest, after what J.K. Rowling turned out to be, I feel a bit vindicated that I never got into that whole culture. So that paid off in the long run. Yeah, like I will definitely admit, like as a British person, I felt, I guess, ostracized growing up in some respects because there were some parts of British culture, and not necessarily just Doctor Who, but like behavior, socialization, like all that kind of stuff. There were some aspects to British culture where I just felt like I didn't fit in because I wasn't interested in it. One of the big ones being, you know, a cis-het male in the UK, was football, because like every single guy in the UK, or practically every single guy in the UK, is big into football. You are expected to be into football. And you know, similar kind of thing you'll get in other countries too, like, you know, just in general, you'll get like fathers expecting their sons to be into sport, which, you know, sport can be fun. I don't begrudge anyone who's into sports, but for me, football in particular, that's 90 minutes of overpaid people not scoring goals doesn't strike me as my idea of fun. And like, even when it's the World Cup or some other big event or something like that, even the non-football lovers are expected to care about it. And it's like, why? I don't care. Like, you know, why should I care now? I don't care any other times. Like, yeah, but it's England, you know, they're your country. You got to support them. I was like, well, what does my support mean to them? They don't know I exist. They don't give a shit. I think if they don't have my support, suddenly they're just going to lose. My support is going to be the thing that clinched it for them. Yeah, but it's unpatriotic if you're not going to be a supporter. It's England. It's England. Yeah, and England fucking sucks at times. Their team sucks. Yeah, hooliganism too, like fuck football hooligans getting angry about that shit. Okay, got that one on my Google Home. Yeah, sorry about that. I know sometimes it catches people's Google assistants. Yeah, sorry. I gave up on liking sports as a queerphobic space where people were scary in school. Yeah, there is also a shit ton of like homophobia inside football and stuff like that, which is never really properly addressed. And racism too, like a shitload of racism from audiences and clubs alike. I think I was the only person in my neighborhood in Oakland who didn't care about the World Cup and wasn't afraid to say it. I don't understand that sport and I'd rather watch rugby or something. Yeah, rugby has always seemed like the more interesting of the two because more things happen in it. But I guess like on an ideological level, rugby is problematic. Oh, there goes the alarm again. 1 second. Stop! Where's my glove? Oh. Hey, take 2. Stick my stick in there. Good, what we want. Just a small amount of crumbs. Let me just make some space so I can put it on. In fact, let me get a wire rack just so it can cool quicker. Sorry about that noise. Okay. Et voila. Brownies. Turn off the oven. And is the overhead any good for this? No. Let me switch to my phone camera just so I can get you a nice shot. Okay, here we go. Look at that lovely glossy top. That's what you want from it. Those are the holes where I just put the skewer into. The nice chocolate chips, nicely buried in there. Good crispy edges for all you edging lovers there. Yeah, it turned out quite ideal. Very nice. Although now we have to wait for it to cool down so I can cut into it and do the real test and see if it's good. See how fudgy it is on the fudgy scale. But we shall see. So as we wait for this, I'll just finish on my guitar and we can chat a little bit. Yes, for the edging lovers, I know what I said. Who doesn't like a bit of edging, you know? Live life on the edge. Yeah, it looks good. Happy with that turned out. So long as it's not completely slop underneath. Yeah, we'll give it about 10-15 minutes until I take it out of there. But this is really easy just because like you just pull the edges up and there you go. It comes out of the baking pan. Super, super easy. Fudge supremacy indeed. Beautiful, well thank you very much. Et voila, chuggable chocolate plop batter. Good way of putting it. Rugby is homoerotic, so I'm glad for its existence. Get a brownie pic on Discord, let me pull it up. Assuming that this MacBook, which I never use except for streams, won't kick me out. Ooh, that's a good looking one. It actually kind of looks similar to the one I made. Got it a la mode as well, and those are pomegranate seeds from what I can tell. Very nice, I like that. Good job. Making me so hungry. Good, you can make these yourself as well. I will be posting the recipe afterwards. And, you know, I encourage each and every single one of you to give this a shot. Because they are super, super easy and one of the best possible things that you can make that will impress all the people in your life. It's always nice to have like a repertoire of things that you can bake which seem really fancy and complicated, but they're actually super easy to make. The kind of thing that just like impresses people who don't know what goes into making them. So for example, those madeleines that I made a little while back, I think it was the last baking stream I did actually. Those ones, like madeleines, are stupidly easy to make, but you know, people see it as like fancy French baking, and it really isn't. It's just, well, I mean, it is French, but you know, it's just about getting the right baking pans for it with the shape and everything, and there you go, instant fancy. Wind this properly. What time is it now? 4:01. Okay, about 4:15 we will try and slice into it. Don't want to wait too long, because if you get it at the right time, where it's still nice and gooey in the side, that's where you get peak fudge. Although I won't lie, I do like brownies that have been in the fridge. Controversial take, I know, but I don't know, I've always thought that they have a really nice texture to them. My wife, she really likes microwaving her brownies once they've cooled down. But you know, also nice. Okay. What you all saying? Instant fancy? Yeah, instant fancy. Go for the stuff that looks real nice. Red currants. Oh, okay. I don't think I've tried red currants before. There's an app to keep your MacBook awake, but I'm almost positive that it will get flagged by auto mode, so I'll mention it on Discord. I use it to stop my system turning off while I'm gaming. Yeah, generally I don't have like issues because, like I said, I rarely use this MacBook. Sometimes I'll use it like if I want to write up an essay while I'm out and about or what have you. Be one of those pretentious assholes that goes to a Starbucks and, you know, ooh, what's he writing? But yeah. Thinking of making fudge when it's hot. Do it. Absolutely do it. It's fudge weather outside right now. My friends just offered me one because they're moving, but it's way too big for my apartment. Is that an oven that you're talking about? Is it a nice oven? Gas? Electric? Induction? I use my air fryer more than my oven. It's easy to control and contain the heat. Yes, the air fryer is amazing. If you see one on sale or something like that, get an air fryer. They are the future, and they're very, very good. This one's like a countertop convection oven slash air fryer, so it has a bunch of functions. Even got a pizza function as well, which is great. But yeah, they're very, very nice. Aviva Twinkle Toes, hello, how are you doing? Nice to have you here. We completed the brownies, and we are now just waiting for them to cool down for the taste test. And in the meantime, I'm trying to multitask and restring my guitar because it was filthy. How's it going? I hadn't considered that. Oh wait, you replied to someone else. I try not to intervene in other people's replies. Oh, you was talking about an air fryer. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you get an air fryer, then, you know, frankly, You know, you at that point you automatically become better than most human beings. Like, you know, you feel superior as human beings go. You're like, wow, I've ascended. I understand a new level of cooking now, and I can't go back. So yeah, it's difficult. You'll lose all your friends, but you'll have an air fryer. Weigh it up, you know. Like all my friends that didn't have an air fryer, I can't talk to you anymore. Until you get that air fryer, we're done. And they're like, what's happening? You know, why does this matter so much? I said, well, if you had an air fryer, you'd understand why it matters so much. So go, leave. I have to cook things slightly faster than you. No, don't do that. I hate changing strings. Yeah, what games have you all been playing recently? Because we are in dry July right now, where nothing is being released. Which is a good thing for me, since it gives me more time for Final Fantasy XIV. I can tell Salari that's how air fryer owners act. That's true, and for good reason. I see Sal has been seeing the air fryer memes. I have, and I thoroughly enjoy them because yes, there is a bit of truth to it. That like every time someone gets an air fryer, they sort of come across as though they've discover the truth of the universe or something like that. Same thing with people that get bidets as well, which I do have a bidet, and I have also told friends to get one too and gone on about why it's so much better than just using toilet paper. And Americans are very weird about the thought of cleaning one of the dirtiest part of their body with water instead of dry, shitty paper. But that's weird. Cleaning my butthole with water? Ugh. That's another weird out of context clip right there. I'd rather just use dry paper. The other day I dropped some peanut butter on my carpet, and instead of using any kind of liquid, I just used this toilet paper which falls apart in my hand. I have an Instant Pot and an air fryer now. All I need is a ornamental stand mixer to ascend to a higher plane of existence. Ornamental stand mixer does sound good. I mean, I've got my KitchenAid here, which is built like a tank. But yeah, I would like something that looks fancier, I guess. Not a big deal though. Like I said, this thing will outlive me. My goal to finish Kingdom Hearts 1 by the end of the summer. Is it also your goal to hopefully understand the story 5 summers later? Oh, the stories in those games. How can a game which is loaded with childhood Disney characters be that ridiculous and complex of a story? Also, they really needed to add more Final Fantasy characters to the 3rd game. You're replaying all of the Final Fantasy single-player games now. Nice. Which ones are you on? I have a travel bidet. I have one too. When I went to the UK a couple of years ago, or about a year and a half ago, I was like, I can't go back to toilet paper. My life has changed now. And yeah, I got a portable one because I'm like, I'm sticking with this, all right. Monster Hunter Stories. Played it back on the 3DS, of course, so I got the re-release on Switch. Nice. I started playing that on my phone because I managed to get it on sale a while back, but I always find it really difficult to get into like full-fledged phone games like that, or you know, games where you control it with a traditional controller and everything. So yeah, I might need to give it another try though, because I have heard great things. And I do love the mainline Monster Hunter games. I am a huge fan of Monster Hunter. Maybe I'll play it on stream one day. Salari discovers the secrets of the universe by taking his laptop to Starbucks. Yeah, and the thing is, like, even though I've been to Starbucks or a coffee shop and done legitimate work there numerous times, I still always feel like one of those arseholes. It's just like, oh, I'm writing a novel that's super original. It's about a shy guy that meets a girl and she changes his life. But yeah, I still just feel like I'm being one of those people, aren't I? You know what I mean? All right, I might be silent here for a moment because this string can be a bit of a pain to latch on properly. So, uno momento, por favor. Don't fuck up. Need to move that because I don't want to knock it. Come on. I know this probably isn't the most thrilling thing to watch. But like I said, the strings were filthy. I just wanted to get it out of the way so I can play on a nice clean guitar. Awful. Alright. What's up with the guitar? Nothing. I'm just restringing it, doing maintenance, etc. Not going the whole hog. Yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to keep my hands busy. Stimming, I guess you might call it. But sometimes on my other streams, like after my break, usually I'll just pick up my guitar and play a little bit. But usually it's not audible to people because I don't think they want to hear me play guitar. But yeah, there's something to do with my hands, I guess. But yeah, all done. Just need to tune that up and we're good to go. God, this bin is full. Working on Final Fantasy XII right now because I didn't get to finish it as a kid. Good game, underrated, absolutely. Ivalice is my favorite in-universe realm. It is very interesting one. Have you seen any of my YouTube clips? I have seen those clips. Thank you very much for making them, Pokrash. Yeah, thank you. I should probably make like some shorts, like some YouTube shorts out of some of the stuff that happens on stream. It's a lot of work. I think Swampass is a serious problem because hello humidity, but water is the only solution. Swampass, it affects millions of people every single year, and there's no known cure other than taking off your pants. This song is the one that the baker lady on TikTok uses. I did not know that. This is just a random playlist of jazz music that I picked for the vibes, and because it doesn't get flagged every single time I stream on YouTube. You make great clips content, actually. That's good to know. I like to think that I have my moments that, you know, aren't your typical streamer fodder where it's just someone screaming obscenities at like Five Nights at Freddy's or some shit, you know? Alright, I'm gonna check the temperature of these brownies because I don't want it to be too soft because it can make it so that you can't really cut into them. If it's too soft, they can just collapse under the knife. So I'm gonna use this Reed laser thermometer, 61 Celsius. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. Yeah, probably about 5 more minutes. I know the suspense is killing you. YouTube is deprioritizing shorts now, apparently. Really? I thought they'd be like going all in on that more. But then again, given it's YouTube, I can't say that I am surprised that they're admitting defeat with yet another one of their products. Because they do not know how to run this fucking platform unless it's shit made by Mr. Beast. If we're being honest. Makes me wonder, like, where would YouTube be now if Mr. Beast didn't exist? Like, I'm not a fan of him, but one can't help but wonder if he's like propping up this entire platform or what. Like, propping up this entire platform. How much is Mr. Beef worth? Mr. Beef. That's my name. How much is Mr. Beast worth now? He's like, gotta be like hundreds of millions at this point. Have you heard about the drama with Mr. Beast? I've heard numerous dramas, but which is the one you're referring to? Is Google killed by the Google guy, never runs out of money? Yeah, Google just fuck up everything. And I have a Pixel phone, and it's kind of amazing that that one worked out all right. Because God, they fuck up everything else. Oh yeah. Just wanted to dry off the fretboard a bit more. It's all lemony. Maybe one day I'll do some proper guitar lessons on here. Or a performance, if anyone would be interested in that. But I absolutely would be not offended at all if someone said that they are not interested in hearing me perform. Because I get it. Okay, let me check. Just a few more minutes for the brownies and we should be all set. What is this drama then? Even defenders of him are like, maybe we don't want this actually. I mean, anyone who's asked Cybertrucks, its prizes is a big red flag. Yeah, fuck that shit. If I won a Cybertruck, I'd be like, do you have a cash prize? Because I don't want to be around this thing because I'm worried it might murder me. You post Sparks drama. That is true. Yeah, there's no escaping it. I made her a motherboard cake for my dad this birthday year. Oh, that's pretty neat. The best Cybertruck content was Ludwig dropping a tungsten cube on one. I've not seen that. The only Cybertruck content that I've seen was this video. I can't remember. But it was this video of a guy like testing the edges of the doors and the trunk because those edges of the panels are super sharp. So he was like putting packs of hot dogs inside the doors and just closing them at like a casual rate, and it would just straight up clean slice these hot dogs off, and the hot dogs were in the plastic packet too, but it would just slice it, and they put like carrots, thick carrots, inside the door where you close it, and it just sliced them. Like, seriously dangerous stuff. Cybertruck. So Cybertruck subreddit is very entertaining. Are they making fun of it or are they worshipping it? I'm sure there's like a Blumhouse movie that can be made out of like the Cybertruck controversy. That's kind of thing that's right up their alley. It's all dunks. Okay. We have to visit that incognito at some point. I think someone posted in the Discord the other day, but there was like an article from a website called Teslarati, which, you know, should give you some kind of idea about the kind of stuff that they do. But it was an article talking about a Tesla truck that ended up, they phrased it as though this Tesla truck gave up its life to save a family. Like, they said that it used like some AI feature bullshit in it to protect a family from being hit by another vehicle, which, wow, I can't think of another way in which you could possibly worship a vehicle by believing that it's actually sentient and it will go out of its way to kill someone, to protect someone's life. And let's be honest, if Tesla trucks were sentient, chances are they wouldn't actually sacrifice themselves. They were just like, oh, that's a shame, but I'm not going to get destroyed just to save some mother and their child. Mic battery dropping? Well, it should still be fine. 1 second. I have my battery reader over here. Yeah, I did charge it just before I started. Is it alright now? Is it okay? It's fine. Okay, good. But yeah, that article saying that like Tesla truck sacrificed itself just to save this family. Like, really stretching it a bit there. Also, you know, to speak from the perspective of the Tesla truck owner, I don't think anyone that would own a Tesla truck would be particularly taken by the idea that their six-figure vehicle would actively sacrifice itself to save a stranger. I just imagine a scenario where like this Tesla truck like starts speaking to its owner, saying like, David, this family's in trouble. Oh no, what are we gonna do, Tesla? What are we gonna do, Cybertruck? I have an idea, but you may not like it. What is it, Cybertruck? Cybe? I can save them, but I'm afraid it will cost me my life. I understand, Cybe. You do what you need to do. I love you, David. I love you too, Cybe. Go, be a hero. The world needs more people, I mean, trucks like you. Thank you, David. I agree. Then it just goes in the way of the vehicle, smashes, guys at the side of the road crying. It's a beautiful story that everyone made up. My mic's kind of distorted. I wonder if it's the guitar getting in the way of things, because, you know, it is a, it's got magnets in it, so let me move it. Is it okay now? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. I can't deal with wasting that much money. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, those things are a fucking rip-off. How warm is it now? It's cooling down a good amount. When I went to stay at my sister's last week, a neighbor had a roofing company over and they had a Cybertruck with a matte black cover and a custom logo. So I made a mental note specifically to tell people to never hire them. Yeah. I mean, if I hired a company that had a Tesla truck, I'm like, no. I'll do this myself if I have to. Yeah, sorry about the audio thing. If I were to guess, I'd probably say it was because of like magnetic interference from the pickups or something like that. Because like I said, this is a wireless transmitter. So yeah. Temperature. Really not going fast. I'm gonna try putting this in the fridge for a couple of minutes. I think I'll have another quick break just to get myself situated. Ooh. Will this fit? No, it won't. Can't put the tray directly on the shelf because it's made of glass and that will probably shatter. So, I know. Where is it? I'm going to put a cold pack under it. So this should bring down its internal temperature fairly efficiently. Okay. Work smart, not hard. Okay. So yeah, I'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes or so. I need to alleviate myself, get all the urine out of me. Why did I say that? But yeah, I'll be back soon. In the meantime, answer the question of the day if you haven't already. Yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Alright, I'm back and I've taken the brownies out of the tin. And here we go, some nice browned edges. See, yeah, there we go. Nice browned edges, nice and soft in the middle of it. Lots of chocolate chips. This is going to be a good brownie, methinks. So I think it should be safe to cut now, at least near the edges. But yeah, let's see how that goes. 1 second. Okay, bring out a big knife. In fact, this Santoku knife. Santoku means 3 virtues, which is referring to chopping, cutting, and slicing. Don't mind getting a Nikiri knife, those are very good. I have a slight delay. Is YouTube not showing some messages for people? Katana for brownies, I wish. Alright, I am personally a big fan of the corners, so I'm gonna go for those. Shall we do the overhead for this one? Yeah. Okay. Corner. Oh yeah, a little trick for you as well. If you're cutting cake, if you're cutting brownies or anything else that requires multiple slices, like a pie or something like that, it's good to have wipes between every single slice. Helps keep it nice and neat, especially with cakes. Here we go. Good cut. Good cut. Oof. Fudge ahoy. Okay. Try not to spill this onto my laptop. Here we go. And let me get it. Oh, can you tell on there how good it is? Looks like there's a lot of light in the way, or a lot of darkness. Wonderfully fudgy on the inside. Oof. Yeah, it's gooey. That gooiness is enhanced by having the chocolate chips in there as well. So, does it look good on the camera? Okay. Let me put a light on it. 1 second. Yeah, I only have one sauce light here right now. Yeah, this is. Nice and gooey inside. Oof. Got a good internal temperature right now too. Oof. This is gonna be good. Okay. You want your slice? Okay. I'll cut one for my wife as well. Edge, middle, edge. We edging. Okay. Oof. Also good. See if I can bring it to the camera. Nope, that is dark as hell. Oh well. That was me right for cheaping out with the lights. 1 second. I just want it to look good. Is that so much to ask? Okay, this should be good. Well, I will say it's very dark on the inside, so it might be hard to tell without a proper light source there. Alright, I'll give mine first one to my wife. Ms. D. Salari. Hope you don't mind me giving you this thing which I wiped it off on. Okay. Here we go. Enjoy. And I shall have mine hither. Cheers. That is real damn good. This might be the best brownies I've made. Yeah, those are wonderful. Just the right amount of chocolate inside, nice and melty right now. Seems your prep paid off. It did indeed. Preparation always pays off. I got a brownie. Oh. What brand of chocolate chips did you use? I used Trader Joe's chocolate chips, which aren't amazing, but they are better than like Hershey's or Nestle Toll House. They're like 63% semi-sweet chocolate chips. But if I were to recommend good chocolate chips, these really good one, Ghirardelli is really good, and the Guittard, if you can find them, chocolate chips are amazing. But yeah, use semi-sweet. I don't recommend using milk chocolate just because they won't stand out at all. You want that darker flavor to it. And as I mentioned earlier, use Dutch process. The recipe that I'll post in the Discord says use cocoa, but it does say in the notes that Dutch process is also an option, and I highly recommend you use Dutch process cocoa instead of regular, because it really heightens that chocolatey flavor, really helps it be fudgier as well. I don't know how you don't like them, Salari. Yeah, I never use Hershey's for anything baking wise. Hershey's fucking sucks in all respects. Hershey's and its success is proof positive that under capitalism, you don't need the best product out there to be successful. You just have to market it well enough. I don't usually eat the whole thing on camera when I'm done, but fuck it, this is great. Yeah, Hershey's is terrible. Especially, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like that preservative inside of Hershey's which gives what people describe rightfully as a vomit or stomach bile aftertaste. Can't remember the name of it, someone might know. But yeah. Ugh. I remember like, because we don't have Hershey's in the UK, and you know, we have much better chocolate in general in the UK. But I remember like one time I found a Hershey bar inside the supermarket. They added like an international section, so I was like, ooh, Hershey bar, let's see what the big deal is. Tried it, and I was like, this is shit. Like, why are people so crazy about this thing? And yeah, it just turned out it's not because it's great, it's just because it's popular, and that's it. Well, yeah, smells of sick, weird aftertaste. Was it Caspersin, something like that? Or is that a poison? No, I can't remember what it's called. There's a chemical in it. Respectfully, Hershey sucks, but there's one coffee and cookies flavor that I really liked. I will say that their cookies and cream bars aren't too bad, but that's white chocolate, and there's a very different composition to milk or dark chocolate, so they get away with that. Because they don't use a lot of cocoa inside their chocolate bars as well. Like, that's the problem with a lot of American chocolates. They just really skimp on the cocoa. And that's one reason why I really like Guittard and Ghirardelli, because they do use a very good amount of cocoa inside of them. Because that's where all the richness comes from. Edges are really good. Such a good contrast between the softness of the middle and the chewiness of the edge. Your audio's acting up again, so we know it wasn't a guitar. Let me try moving my transmitter. Is it just like cutting out or something like that? Gotta get going on a lovely stream. Enjoy those brownies. Thank you very much, Rowan. And if you make those brownies, be sure to share. I know you will. I'll post the recipe once I'm done with this. But yeah, thank you for being here. Let me just check the receiver real quick. I'll try letting it stick out a bit more. It's not on a very long cable or anything. It's connected to my PC. Yeah, I don't know. It's distorting through several syllables at a time. It's really random. Is it like when my voice volume is getting louder or anything like that? Because it might just be peaking in that case. Okay, you take care, Ron. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, damn good brownies. I'm not gonna have another slice. I'm just gonna cut another piece just so I have something to photograph. In fact, I'll probably take the photograph now. I've become one of those people that takes photographs of their food. But you know what? For stuff like this, who can blame me? Go. It's arguably when the sound is lower. Huh. Well, next time I do a stream where I use the lav mic. I'll try using the other transmitter and see if that makes a difference. Okay, let's get ourselves a nice glamour shot. Much like Final Fantasy XIV, I'm all about the glam. Excuse me for a moment. I need a bit of light behind me, so not much, but okay. Use the portrait function. Let me nip this bit of paper away, getting in the way of things. I'm not a very good food photographer, but I know my tricks. There we go. Beautiful. Good. Good. I'm a very good photographer. My mother is my biggest client. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how good I am at photography. I feel like I'm a bit lazy with it. I've been complimented for it before, and some people really like the food photographs that I take, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just insecure. Photographing food well is shockingly difficult. It is, yes, especially with stuff like lighting. And a lot of people still use flashes on their cameras for food, which is a huge no-no. It always makes food look terrible. It messes with the colors. Yeah, just don't do that. All right, so I think I'll use this opportunity to finish up. Since ironically, I'm getting quite hungry now. But let's see, 1 second. Yeah, so we'll wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. It's been nice doing another baking stream. I'll let you know when I do another one. The next video is in the works. I don't know when it will be released, and I don't want to promise any time, so it'll be released soon, PM. But thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope that you've learned something, and I will be posting the recipe later on. And if you want to attempt doing it yourself, I highly recommend it. If you need any advice, you can always ask, because there's myself and numerous other bakers that are willing to offer their input. Yeah, and let me see how it turns out. I always love seeing it. And yes, like the stream, leave a comment, all that kind of engagement stuff does help. And if you want to become a channel member, that would be very grateful too. And you get early access ad-free to new videos. But once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and take care of yourselves. See you next time. Oh, and join the Discord if you haven't already. Take care.